Hello! It's Monday, the 12th of January 2026. Welcome along to the channel, The Fifth Guardian. I'm your host, Tony Hunt, where today I'll be player of games. But as always, it's not my story. It's not your story. Today's story is counting down to the checkered flag within Real Racing 3, and this episode is called Progress, Not Perfection. And we'll talk a little bit more as to why that is the case shortly. Let's get the game on screen. Boom. Let's get the audio on as well. Massage Gamer enters the chat on the YouTube side, says hello. Hello back, Massage Gamer. Thanks for watching. Thanks for saying hello in the chat, and good to see you again. So, first off, one piece of progress rather than perfection is indeed, I guess, my own story, which obviously is not what this title is about generally, but road collection has gone up to 91%. Technically speaking, still on target to get to 100% before the big switch off, but I have run out of gold. But there have been quite a few changes over the last few days within Real Racing 3. Positive changes, not affecting the end, I'm afraid, but just in terms of a little flashback to a couple of things that you used to be able to do. King Banana enters the chat, says hello. Hello back, welcome along, thanks for watching. And Massage Gamer says, today I emulated Xbox 360 games. Okay, alright, fair enough. Right, okay, so where do we begin? Well, I mean, some of this is old news, but it's not ending. Effectively, last week, we did have the opportunity whereby they changed the daily limit from 250,000 M dollars in terms of what you could earn to $1 million M dollars in terms of what you could earn, and that you could have a total amount of M dollars in your bank, no longer stuck at a maximum of 5 million, but it looks to be a maximum of 20 million. So an increase of ×4. Now, what went through my mind after this is, well, maybe they were doing this because typically the daily rewards, which have been increased to ×3, would benefit typically road collection racers. And there's technically nothing in the daily ads to benefit motorsports racers. So I wondered if that was done for that reason. In addition, over the weekend, we actually had plus 200% fame. Now, I've never seen that before. I've seen plus 100% fame, but they've not done that in a long time. So to see plus 200% fame, I don't think I've ever seen that before in the game, but I could be wrong on that. I do remember them doing the plus 100% fame for a couple of days. Again, I don't remember seeing it for 3 days. But look at this. We've got, as of today, plus 100% fame in all races. Not as good as 200% fame, but they are obviously making an effort. And I'm going to have a little bit of a conversation about that because I think I might know, A, what's going on, and B, what it indicates won't happen. Virtual Medical Doctor Iaka says, hello, Mr. Tony. Hello back. Welcome along. Thanks for saying hello in the chat. Same to Lord Night Moon, who also says hello. Hello to both of you. Thank you very much for watching and saying hello in the chat. So, what I think this means is they will probably do these sorts of events, these sorts of ways in which you can earn additional fame and therefore earn additional gold, and as a result, I don't think we're going to see any silly discounts on cars at all, full stop. I think maybe the plus percentage fame may get crazier the closer we get to the big switch off. That's what I think will happen, I suspect. So King's Banana says, I've played 14 hours this weekend and I've gone up 31 levels. Well done. For my part, I reckon I played between 3 to 4 hours a day, so on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and I only went up 2 levels. But it is a lot harder when you're at level 630, like some proper gold harvesting. So they will have been doing sort of like the endless endurance races, stuff like that. I wasn't. I was just prepping my racing for today. So I could go up some percentage levels and get some additional gold rewards today. Paul's 1123 says, hi Tony, it's the same as the F1 mobile shutdown, more to come, but then it goes. Exactly. But I do think we're not going to get discounted cars. I think we're just going to get, you're going to have to go out and earn as opposed to have something given to you, is what I'm sort of picking up with what they've been put in terms of rewards. Maybe the rewards will get just bigger, but you have to put the effort in, I suspect. King's Banana says, I have 730 gold now. Well done. I'm at level 161. Yes, well, I remember those levels. On a normal week, I'd go up, 1 fame a week. Now, well, up until this weekend, it typically takes me 2 weeks to go up a fame level. But obviously, over the weekend, we've effectively, well, triple fame, because quite often I was putting an agent on. I had 5 free agents a day to use. That effectively meant triple fame reward. Very nice indeed. Thank you very much. The Monster Crow says, hey Tony, hey back Monster Crow, welcome along. Apparently my mic is gone. Can you not hear it? Are you sure? I can hear it. Test. 1, 2, 3. One moment. I reckon it's okay, but let me just see. Oh dear. Yeah, I can hear it. There we go. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's fine. False alert. False alert. Oh, right, okay. Lord Night Moon says the mic is working okay. Kins Banana says, I also had that problem, but I needed to reload my end. Okay, interesting. Okay. Anyway, good. I'm glad the microphone is working okay, and I've also got no camera freeze yet. To come, I'm sure. To come. The Monster Crow says, by the way, Tony, we have some good news. Okay. About my game, and we are adding Le Mans as a track, and we can choose to be 24 hours real life. Oof. Oof. Oh, I won't be selecting that option. 1 lap special, that's for me. And the Monster Crow also says your mic is okay. Well, that's good to hear. Thank you very much. Right, okay. So yeah, there we go. What an interesting week in Real Racing 3. To say it's ending, lots of things going on. I've got a bit of a dab on now. Right, so I'm up to 91% road collection. The exclusive series overall is at 79%. And I've got 10 exclusive series to racing, of which 8 of them I can go up a percentage level and earn gold. So we're going to start with BMW M1. I'm just going to go left to right. What I'm going to do now is just disappear off screen, back in 10 seconds. Okay, and we're back. Paul's 1123 says, Tony, what's your best achievement in this game? That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I actually don't know, to be fair. I don't know. No idea. No idea. I don't know, to be honest. I think, let me think about it while I'm racing. That's a tough one to answer. Best achievement in the game. Yeah, no idea. Anyway, let's get some racing. I will think about that and answer that question, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But we'll get there. Right, oh no, let's start tier 1. Tier 1, no we won't. Not if Hunter is Le Mans. Let's start at tier 2. Now, I might not necessarily run the durability of the cars down. It will be a case of doing a couple of races and going above the percentage level that earns the gold reward. So the exception to that will be the cars where I can take up to 100%, and they will be towards the end of the stream. So this car, 25%, 5 gold, not brilliant, but it's a start. Speed record at West Circuit at Suzuka. Right, let me have a think about what is being my best achievement in this game. I mean, you could also argue there's been so many. I mean, every winning of every car's an achievement. Maybe. I feel like I've messed this up already. Yeah, you've caught me off guard with that question. That's a good one. I like the question. It's a tough one to answer. Maybe mastering the controls. Well, for me anyway. So maybe coming to terms of mastering the game with 0 assists. That's quite a good one. I'd like to say getting into Group B in time, the weekly time trial, but that never happened. I got very close a couple of times, but I never actually got into Group B. I was always a solid Group C racer. So yeah, maybe that's a good answer. If you think about improvement in the game, it's being able to race the cars confidently at a competent level without assists. That's a pretty good answer. I like that answer. And it didn't happen overnight as well. It took quite a bit of time. And before I started streaming, typically what I would do is just have brakes on low. But once I started streaming, I had to sort of like push the boundaries of what I was doing at that moment in time. The improvements came. And when you consider, you know, I'm not that young, goes to show improvement is always available in all of us. Okay, there we go. 24%. Right, so we'll do the head-to-head at the junior course at Monza. This should mean going up to 25%. I think there's a possibility of taking the exclusive series overall from 79% to 80% this evening. Okay, we're in the lead, just got to stay there. We'll have our first set of gold on the board. So because we've got 10 cars to race tonight, I want the stream to be about 2 hours long at tops. So I've actually got less than 15 minutes per car. And we've been racing already over 15 minutes, so hopefully I've got the first set of rewards and I can move on to the next car. Look at that, 100% bonus. Might actually go up a player level this evening. That'll be good as well, because that's, at the moment for me, that's 70 gold reward. I mean, again, if they carry on doing this, you know, outside chat, because I reckon at the moment 95%, but if they carry on doing this, and you know, on a like 2 or 3 times a week, I can go per fame, which is like an extra 200 gold a week. I reckon I can get into 96, 97% territory. So that'd be good if I can do that. Anyway, there we go. That's the first series done for this evening, hopefully. We'll see how we're doing for time. But that's my initial goal. Get to the percent that gives a reward and then move on to the next car. And like, for example, you see them, the McLaren 720S Coupe. That's at 95%. The intention will be to complete that series this evening. Yeah, and let's have a look. A lot of people in the chat tonight. So Paul's 1123 says, yeah, playing no assists is one. On fast cars over 100 PR, then no assists for me. Yeah, exactly. King's Banana says, I've only done well in a weekly time trial in the McLaren P1 at Lime Rock Park. I got to Group C. Well, that's respectable. I'd say that's respectable. Because technically speaking, in the weekly time trial, getting to Group C means that you're in the top 5% of the gamers. I think that's credible. That's not bad at all. Paul's 1123 says, B2A takes a lot of doing. See, he's just showing off now, isn't he? He's just showing off. But practice and practice. Yeah, I tried that. I tried that. I got so far, and then, yeah. Literally, I think the closest I've been is like 0.01 seconds away from Group B. Or 0.1 second away from Group B. And in fairness, I would imagine it does take a lot of practice, and I haven't got that amount of time, unfortunately. But the time that I have put in, it's rewarded me enough, so I'm quite happy. Now, this car, the Lamborghini Countach, is a little bit weird because it's one of those cars you think you've got it under control, but then you lose it. And it just slides forever. So I always like to treat this car with kids' gloves. Because, yeah, once you've lost it, you've lost it. You don't get it back. It's not one of those cars where you lose the back end and you can get the back end back. No, on this car, once you've lost it, say goodbye for 10 seconds while it slides into the barrier. Monster Crow says, as they say, practice makes perfect. Well, I like to say practice makes better. Maybe not focus on perfect. Maybe that's just a little bit too high to achieve. Although some people say if you achieve higher, or rather you aim for higher, then whatever you achieve, even if it's lower, it's still a success. So I kind of get the point of aiming for perfection, but don't ever get too upset if you never quite achieve perfection. Improvement is improvement. The Monster Crow says, my target on the 499p is still in there. Oh, do you know what? That's interesting. One of the things I've been thinking to do in February, I think, is there isn't a weekly time trial, but there's nothing saying we could suggest in our own small little community a weekly time trial on certain cars. And obviously, we'll be able to see them potentially in the time trial because all times are recorded. So that's something I'm thinking of, setting up my own weekly time trial on this channel and get everybody to race in it. But we'll see. That's one of the thoughts I'm having. Just to keep that interest till that infamous day, March the 19th. Oh, the Monster Crow is looking to grind on the Ferrari 499p. Okay. That might have been a... Did you mean it like that? I don't think you meant it like that, did you? Paul's 1123 said, I only did it once. Are you talking about grinding on the 499p? I know what you're talking about. You're talking about getting into Group A. Well, I'll tell you what, that's still an achievement. I'll tell you that for sure. Getting into Group B is an achievement. Getting into Group A is a fantastic achievement. Well done. Even if you did it the once, well done. I think what you should do, though, is herald the car as much. Again, if you understand the type of car that it is, well, I do find that cars, in terms of how they react to drivers, differently. So it is about knowing the type of car that you're best in. And I'm best in a well-balanced car with probably a slightly lower top speed and definitely good on grip. King's Banala says, I hate this car. He's on about the Lamborghini Countach. Says, I hate this car. It drives like a tank. Well, it doesn't, because once you lose grip, it slides. Has anyone ever seen a sliding tank? Because I haven't. Kim Banala said that would be very funny. Well, I suppose it would be, yes. Yes. Right, okay. 24%. Tier 1 complete. Now, at the moment, I'm only doing the quick races. That will change, but, you know, that will change. We'll do some bigger races once I've got back on target with my 12 minutes per car. Already behind schedule, not like me at all. There we go, slowly around, there you go, that's it. Easy. Boom. No sliding there. A lot faster than a tank, this car, when it's driven by me anyway. The Monster Crow says, I just realised now the maximum M dollars you can get is $1 million. That's $1 million a day, and you are correct. Melvin Lee enters the chat, says, real racing near future. I don't know what he means by that. I guess he's saying it's almost over. Well, let's make the most of it. Let's make the most of it. Now, I think I've got to 25%, but I might just complete tier 2 as we're on about it. It's another 5 gold. Not getting a lot of gold with these series. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it, actually. It's the drag race. We'll pick that up Wednesday. So I was going to do a stream tomorrow, but a change of plans means I will be streaming, obviously tonight, Monday, Wednesday, and then Thursday. So there we go. Right, okay. So 25 minutes into the stream, we've done 2 cars. We're almost back on schedule. So next up is the Audi RS5 Coupe. Again, it's at 22%. Again, I'm only getting 5 gold. Again, I'm just going to go left to right. I won't do the endurance though. I don't like doing endurances on stream because, unless I have to, because you're always racing online on stream, which means the first place is always a higher number of miles. So I like to do my endurances off stream and therefore offline, and I've only got 6.2 miles to do. A little bit of a cheeky one, that one, but it just makes it a bit easier to get first place. There we go. I'll tell you what, this is proving to be hard. Only just got first there. So what's the bet in? I don't get first here. And again, there we go, first place. I was a bit worried about that. All of those races in the drag race were hard to complete. So Melvin Lee has said, I mean, and again, I still don't understand what he means. It's real racing replacing future. Yeah, don't understand. Sorry, Lee. Melvin, sorry. Don't understand. Right, drag race, first place, 24%. As I said, I'm not going to do the endurance. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do a cup. Let's do a cup. Let's do Melbourne. So Melbourne is 6 laps. That's not too bad. 6 laps is okay. Melbourne, though, I never get around Melbourne without smashing my windscreen. I don't think I've ever done it, seriously. Before you ask, I wouldn't consider it an achievement. It's a badge of honour, smashing my windscreen. There you go. You see, I heard it already. It's smashed. Unless that was somebody else's, of course. Right, we're into 13th, I reckon. I just need to pause it there. My nose is running, so I'm just going to take myself off screen. Back in one moment. Right, now I can understand what Melvin Lee is saying. Basically, he's saying, I miss Real Racing 3. It's the best and only one. Well, it's not gone. It's not gone yet. Carry on playing it until it's gone. Then you won't miss it. Obviously, you will miss it after March the 19th. But right now, you don't have to miss it. And I'll tell you what, I'm having quite a bit of fun with these end days. Oops, a daisy. You see, there you go. That's the windscreen. Wee, true to form. Yeah. Obviously, it may have been exaggerating a bit with the driving there, just to smash the windscreen to prove a point. But hey, it's all a bit of fun, a bit of racing. It obviously isn't real racing because you wouldn't be able to do that in a real race. However, real racing for me was always about real cars around racing tracks. And I always liked the fact there were like some cheeky things you could do, like for example there were corners you could cut. I like the fact on speed record, if you knew you were fastest at the end of the straight, you could start behind the start line. I liked little things like that. It got you thinking about, I think I can beat this, but I think I've got to be a bit sneaky on how I beat it. I never minded that. It made it not just racing, but an element of strategy to it. Obviously the point is there's only so many strategies, and once you've done that, the rest of it just comes naturally. Anyway, there we go. At the end of lap 2, I'm on the podium. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. 4 laps to go. 2 cars to overtake. And afterwards, we'll need to get Eric to fix the windscreen. But, you know, That's what Eric's good for. What he isn't good at is trying to make the engine go quicker, because he always messes that up in the events. Right, there we go. We're in second place. 3 laps to go after this one. I reckon I might even get first before the end of this lap. Maybe not, actually. I think I'll hold back while we go through the chicane. Here we go. Are we getting him? No, no. Right, we'll get him on lap 4 then. Okay, so Kings Benala says, I'm usually pretty good at Melbourne. Very good. It's one of my least favourite tracks. It's not my least favourite, but it's not far behind my least favourite. My least favourites are the Formula E tracks. I can't stand them. Melbourne, at least I can get around it normally. I'm finishing first place. Monster Grow says, I will miss this game very much. It has been a good adventure with this game for me. Exactly. That's how you need to think about it. Now, Melvin Lee makes a comment, says, can not play weekly time trial. Now, for those that don't know, Melvin Lee used to quite regularly finish in Group A. He's a very talented racer in terms of racecraft. And also, there's no online multiplayer. So I need them to play. Oh dear. Ayaka says, I like this Audi. Well, Marvin Lee, how much gold do you have? Or did have before you stopped playing the game? I'm sure it was something like 50,000 gold you had. I think you could have completed road collection and possibly even motorsports with that amount of gold. Yeah, just my opinion. I do find though that obviously what's happened is there were a group of people that played predominantly for the weekly time trial or the events, and that was pretty much it. Whereas my approach to the game has always been the road collection, and secondary to that was always the weekly time trial, the online multiplayer tournament, and the event. Now I always did it because I was always happy to finish and earn some gold, because effectively I always considered it free gold. But now that it's gone, I'm focusing just on completing as many series as I can. And because I know it's the end, I can spend all my gold, and I've got open a multitude of different cars. So at the moment it's a bit of a Lamborghini show. We've got 3 Lamborghinis open at the moment, but in the coming weeks it might turn into a Ferrari show. We've got a couple of Ferraris that I can fully upgrade for under 700 gold. Ha! Yeah, so they may be on the list. They may be on the list. Right, there we go. Look at this final lap. I'm in first place. The car's smashed to bits. 300 yards ahead of second. Oh, there you go. You see. Not the best car, this, for me. But I tell you what, the Lamborghinis that we'll be racing tonight, they're not bad, you know. For a Lamborghini, they're pretty well balanced. I was quite surprised when I took them for a drive over the weekend. There we go, that is the COUPE won. That should mean over 25% and another reward coming my way. There we go. Melvin Lee had 32,000 gold. What an absolute shame, Melvin Lee. Oh, man, I'd be spending that. It's a shame you can't pass that gold on to me, because I'll tell you what, if I had that amount of gold, I would be able to complete road collection. I've got 28 cars to complete, and there's about 10 of them, in fact there's about 15 of them that are going to cost over 1,000 gold to fully upgrade. So that would have been very nice having that gold. And Paul 1123 says he's got 9,000 gold left. Spend it. Get it spent. Get some cars upgraded. Get them fully upgraded. Open up those exclusive series. And Paul's 1123 said over the last 2 years, I've been just getting the higher cars, or the cars with higher PR, left alone the smaller ones, or the cars with lower PR. Well, I didn't. I've been purposely going out, winning every single car that's been available to win. So on the road collection side, there's only one car I don't own, which I probably won't own now because it is very expensive. To buy is 950 gold. And that is the Ferrari X, is it XKK? Or is it the KKX? But it's the Evo version, which is a shame. But there we go. And Melvin Lee says, so sad news. Indeed, indeed, but it's not over just yet. So again, that's what you'll see with my racing, my cars. I've got a mixture of cars, mixture of lower PR cars to race in, and some cars with higher PRs. I'll probably be honest, I won't be doing too many cars with very, very high PR because they're just too expensive to upgrade. But there we go, 25% again. We are 38 minutes into the stream. 3 cars down. I need to have 2 cars done by the end of the first hour. I think we're about on target. Next on the list, this is Jaguar XJ220, which potentially I can take this to 100% and earn 40 gold. So let's give this a go. Right, okay, first up, elimination. I have also got an agent to hire and an engineer, but I don't think I need them this evening, so I might not take advantage of them. Yeah, so I kind of like the fact that you've got a whole range of cars to race in. It was always, for me, one of the best bits about Real Racing 3. The variety of cars that were available to race in. Oops-a daisy, off track. Yeah, so again, I'll just repeat, I do have some rules. Well, they're more guidelines than rules. They're more guidelines. So, guideline number 1, don't go off track. You can see why I was laughing. Guideline number 2, don't smash into any competitors. Well, we've all just watched me in the Melbourne 6-lap spectacular. It was more like a wrestling match than a racing match. Whoops-a daisy. And then the third rule is don't cheat. And what I mean by that is no shortcuts. So in a speed record, I can start from behind the start line, but what I can't do is cut corners in a cup race. So for example, on this track, I'll show you a little bit later, at the end of this lap, although I might not get there, there is a chicane that you can just go flying over, and it usually gains you 3 or 4 seconds. but my intention is to drive as properly and as legally as possible. So no cutting corners, no cheating in eliminations, in cups, in those types of races, in head-to-heads. So as I said, they're more guidelines because I still managed to find myself breaking at least guideline 1 and guideline 2. So there's no point in calling rules, especially as the game's not enforcing them. So the Monster Crow says, a few more people. So Virtual Medical Doctor Iaka says, another 2 months, Real Racing 3 will shut down. Sad face with a tear. Yeah. 66 days to be precise. 66 days. And the Monster Crow says, and I never spent a penny in this game. Nor did I. So in terms of real money, not spent a penny. In terms of R dollars, M dollars and gold, spent an absolute fortune. And obviously spent a lot of time doing all the races. But hey, that's the fun bit. Paul's 1123 says the only 2 worthy racing games made for mobile were this one and F1 Mobile Racing, both owned by EA. Funny that. Well, I think all that needs to happen, because I actually think there's quite a large community of races or racers in the mobile community space. So I think we just have to strategically pick a game that we know is going to run for a long time and is going to listen to the people that play it. That's a shout out to you, Monster Crow. Monster Crow's working on a game, so I am intrigued what that's going to be like. Hopefully, it will be amazing. Paul's 1123 says, Tony, got to go. Cheers. Thank you for watching. See you again, hopefully. Have a good evening. Monster Crow says, and now this game is ending like F1 Mobile Racing. Indeed it is. Indeed it is. Right, 88%. Next up, Speed Snap at the Formula E Berlin circuit. As I said, the Formula E tracks are the worst tracks in this game. I don't like long straights followed by 180 turns. And also, they're not very wide, these tracks. So, yeah, just not a fan of these at all. So if I could get rid of one set of tracks out the game, it would be Formula E. How have I done there? See, I haven't got first there. So that means I've got to do this again, which is painful. In fact, I only got 6. 6! I don't know. Let's try again. Come on. I mean, one good thing is that one of the features, and it is a feature, it's not a bug, in the game, is the worse you get, the worse the opponents get. That always makes me laugh. Unfortunately, on some of the events, it became really extreme. I've just messed that up. Let's do that again. Which is why some people are doing all sorts of things not to win the early stages, which again, for anyone that races, is just completely alien to them. Right, let's see what we can do here. There we go, 107. Boom. Boom, got that at the time. Okay, so another race completed, Speed Snap. I think there was another race to do in this tier. Yeah, there we go. Speed record at the Indy circuit at Brands Hatch. So here's an example of me starting from behind the start line, because technically the fastest part of the track is just at the end of this. I won't call it a straight, I'll call it a slow curve. This car is not brilliant on grip at all, and it's also quite a heavy car, got very heavy back end. So no idea how I'm going to do here. So there you go, you see, got to first after crossing the finish line, so definitely would not have got first if I'd not done it that way, which is why I do it that way. I don't always, sometimes I know the car's fast enough or I'm in control of it, so I know I can do a lot better. But with this car's a nightmare to drive. It's yeah, it's, I think I said on a previous stream, and I hold by this, you've almost got to drive it as if it's a glider. You've got to glide the car over the track. So no sharp turns, you'll just lose it. But if you can race the car as if it's gliding over the track, you'll do all right with this car. There we go, first place. Still got over half durability left. I reckon I can complete this. I'm not entirely sure if I've got a cup to do though, so let's have a look. No, we've just got 4 races, 2 in tier 19, 2 in tier 20. The Monster Grow says we have an official release of my game and it will be June the 21st. All right, okay. So in the UK, that is the longest day of the year in terms of sunlight. How about that? Well, best of luck that you make it, that you achieve it. I am intrigued. I will say that. I am intrigued. Right, so tier 19, elimination at the Grand Prix circuit at Dubai. Now I said I'd go up a fame level this evening, but maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I won't. We'll see. It's funny, once you've done 200% fame and you start getting 100% fame, you are disappointed. Even though it's more than what you would normally get. But hey, maybe maybe I do a race and hire the agent because they were free to hire. Sorry, do a cup. We'll have a think about that. Right, so I'm in first place. I just got to stay there. 6 cars left in the battle. You see what I mean about gliding? You've got to glide this car. Gliding round the corner so we don't lose the back end. There's an example of me going off track, losing the back end, and potentially now losing the lead. That wasn't good. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hold off on the inside, so they've got to go around the hard way. And the good news is they're driving the same car as me, so I know how hard that is. So fortunately, still in the lead. 3 cars left in the race. And first, only 20 yards ahead of second, but I'll take that. I'll take that. Glide round the corner, make them work hard. There you go. Stay in first place. Glide. There we go. 6 seconds left. There you go. Boom. Now we can overtake because it's too late. First place. Neil Rain enters the chat and says, hello, brother. Hello, Brat. Welcome along. Thanks for watching. Good to see you again. Neil Rain says, which games have you planned after this game? Well, let's good question. I don't know. Some people have asked that before, but I have got them downloaded. I literally haven't played any of them. So let's just get this confirmed as first. There we go. So the games that I've got are there. So as I said, I've downloaded them. These are all free games. There is an exception. So we've got Assoluto Racing, Car X Street, Gran Velocita, Monoposto, and Drive Zone. Now, the exception is Grid Autosport. So I've got what's known as the Custom Edition, which is free, but normally the big version costs. Now, as I said, I've not opened any of these games, so the plan is probably either in February or the early part of March, I'll do a stream with 2 of these games, and we'll just do a compare, and I'll get your feedback, what people think. My suspicion is the winner will be Assoluto Racing, although again, I do have already, having seen some videos of other people, a bit of a gripe about that game in terms of graphics. It's not as good. It's not as good as Real Racing 3. Now, I think that is the game that has rain in it as well. But one of the things I've noticed, so if I go back to here, for example, let's do the head-to-head around the club circuit at Circuit de Catalunya. One thing I've noticed in some of the videos that I've seen is the 3D rendition of the cars is not as good as it is in Real Racing 3, but it's all to do with the lighting. So the cars don't actually look like they're on the track because there isn't proper shadow under the cars. Oh, and I think I've just lost that now. Not to worry. Whereas in Real Racing 3, the cars always look they are on the track. So yeah, I personally don't think there'll be any game as good as Real Racing 3, but as that's going, we're going to have to make some form of compromise. But I will be racing them all, so I'm not going to prejudge any of them. It's only in terms of what I've seen in videos, but I think at the moment Assoluto Racing is my favourite, despite those graphical anomalies. Obviously they could be improved, and I guess if their volume of players goes up, there might be a bit of money for them to improve that game. Obviously until Monster Crows comes along, which will be perfect from day one, won't it, Monster Crow? Neil Rain says you can choose between Assoluto and Grid Autosport. There you go. So everyone's already, a lot of people have already done that assessment. I'm going to do it on a stream because that's who I am, isn't it? And yes, I'm going in with an open mind, sort of. And we'll make a decision. So I didn't do very well there, did I? So let's try that again. Head to head. This time, get first place, Tony. Focus on your racing and stop talking. But you see again, if I don't get to 100%, it just means this series will be back on Wednesday. There we go. Managed to hold off first place there. Now you can see why it is all about gliding with this car. Mainly because the moment you turn it, you've got the throttle on, you're going to lose the back end. There we go. There we go. First place. Got it there in the end. Neil Rain says, but no one can replace Real Racing 3. Well, at this moment in time, no. But you never know. You never know. You never know. There might just be a bit of a lull. in the short term. Okay, there we go. 96%. On to tier 20, the last two races for 40 gold. First up, the longest autocross in the game. It had to be, didn't it? At Mount Panorama. Blinking heck. Now then, how do I glide around this corner? Not very well is the answer to that question. Okay. All right. Now that says 54 seconds. Have I done it? Have I done it? Have I done it? No, I haven't. Ooh, that was close. That was close. King's Binala says Mount Panorama is probably my favourite track in the game. Okay, well that's interesting. I believe that's one of the tracks that's been in the game since day one. I mean, there's an easy way of finding that out, isn't there? So let's have a look. Let's have a look. I mean, I'm sure there was only about 6 tracks when this game launched. So if we go to Amateur, which was the first series, and we just look at the first series in that series, what have we got? We got Suzuka, we got Brands Hatch, we got Indianapolis, we got Francorchamps, we got Laguna Seca, we've got Melbourne, we've got Hockenheimring, we've got Silverstone, and we've got, there we go, Mount Panorama. So I believe these tracks in this series were the first in the game. I don't think this series has been manipulated after the fact, so to speak. So there you go. There's probably about 6, 7, 8 tops tracks. Now obviously there are variations. So for example, Silverstone has a total of 4 tracks. It's got the normal Grand Prix, it's got the British Grand Prix, and then it's got the international circuit and the national circuit. So they do have variations on a particular track. But when the game launched, I believe there was, by the looks of it there, about 8 tracks in the game. Whereas now, I think it's 18 tracks in the game in total. And again, that's not including the variations of a particular track. Right, so Jaguar XJ220. We're coming up to an hour's worth of racing. This is only the 4th car, so as per usual, a little bit behind. Speed record, Indianapolis. There's only one way to do speed record at Indianapolis, and that's by starting behind the start line, because the fastest part of the track is at the end of that very long straight. So it would be good if I could pass the start line doing over 100 miles per hour, guarantee that first position in speed record. Now, I think I've accidentally turned the sound down. This is probably just for me, so let me just turn that up again. There we go. Right, let's go. Now this car can do over 200 miles per hour, so 6th place only being 182, I don't think it's too bad. I'm a bit worried about sliding in this car, so I'm going to go gentle around that slow corner. There we go. Oh look, I even did it before the finish line. But hey, there we go. 208 miles per hour. Managed to break one of my rules, going off track. But hey, there we go. Just a case of bringing this car home, and that will mean first place in speed record. It will mean 100% completion in this exclusive series, and will also mean 40 gold. Now, strangely enough, what I'm upgrading at the moment in the background are some lower PR cars that are actually in Season 4. So the Ford Focus, I think it's called GT, and the Mitsubishi that was given free to us all a year ago. So I'm hoping to complete both of those series in Season 4, and then we'll start investing gold in more cars to fully upgrade and open some more exclusive series. Anthony W says 220, that tops at 217. Well, I said 220-ish. You've got to allow me 3 miles per hour. I wasn't far off. I got to 208. It was good enough. What I'm saying is, with 6 being 186 miles per hour, I knew I could go a lot quicker than that. But yes, thank you very much for the correction, Anthony W. Kings Banana says Mount Panorama is probably my favourite track in this game. I might have read that out already, actually. It says, I'm going to check for how many tracks there are in the game. Not now, though. Okay, I think there's 18. I think basically if you went to EA Real Racing 3 homepage at EA, it tells you what the features are. In fact, here we go. It's got real cars. It's got real tracks, of which there are 17 in multiple configurations. So there's your answer: 17 tracks. And then its final cell is it's real people. There you go. Real cars, real tracks, real people, just no longer a real game. I thought it was funny. Just me, all on my own. Aaron C. John enters the chat, says hello. Hello, Aaron C. John. Welcome along. Thanks for watching. Thank you for saying hello in the chat. Neil Rain says, I was playing this game when there was no motorsport series. Me too. Me too, which is why some of the motorsports series, you actually earn R dollars, not M dollars, because they literally just moved those series over to motorsports, but didn't change those games from earning R dollars to earning M dollars. Anthony W says XJ220 was supposed to. Wow, there we go. XJ220. We've got the guy that knows everything about all the cars in the chat. Anthony W says the XJ220 was supposed to hit 220, but only did 217 upon release. Well, there we go. There we go. A new fact for everybody. I didn't know that one. And Kings Banala says that's a lot less than I was expecting. Yes, there's 17 tracks, but quite a number of those tracks have different configurations. So, as I sort of gave an example, Silverstone has 4 different configurations. So if you work it out like that, there's actually potentially, let's say on average there's at least 2. There's at least 34 different track configurations in the game. And Neil Rain says, I was playing this game when it didn't have the Motorsport series, and that was on my dad's phone. There you go. Right, okay, let me just go back in then. So, top speed. Well, isn't that interesting? So, in other words, the Jag had no chance whatsoever of getting above 220, yet in the game it says it can hit 239. There you go. There you go. Crazy. And I only got to 208 by the end of the Indianapolis straight. Right. Let's move on to the next series to race in. So that takes us now down to only 9. Only 9 exclusive series open. Right, now I'll tell you what, I will be sad to see the back of this next car. The McLaren 720S Coupe has been beautiful to drive, so I will be very sad to see it go. So maybe what I'll do is I'll start with the drag race and finish with the speed snap. Only got 2 races to do. I didn't even check how much gold I'm going to get. I'll check that after this. This will hopefully put me back on track if it's just 2 quick races. There we go. Sometimes though, the problem with a drag race is you end up competing against someone that you can't beat. At least I do. Especially when online. Well, as we've got no choice, let's see what happens. Guaranteed at least 2nd place. Really, really need that 1st place, please. There we go. Not bad. Not bad at all, that. 1st place. Ooh, do you know what? If only we'd be going up. If we don't go up today, I think we will go up on Wednesday if we haven't done off screen. Okay, so Tier 17 Speed Snap at the Grand Prix circuit at Nürburgring. Now, I'll tell you now, I'm going to get this easily. I know exactly which area of the track this is, and they're expecting you to slow down before the chicane. But as the race ends before the chicane, I'm not going to slow down. Technically, I'm not cheating. There you go, 1st place, easy. Boom. Now, I didn't look how much gold it was. Not to worry. Let's find out. Let's find out. Come on. 50 gold. Give us 50 gold. You can do it. 50 gold. 70 gold. Oh, thank you very much. I like that. That is fantastic. Boom. Right. So that is 2 exclusive series completed. We're now down to only 8. Oh dear. Right, next up on the list, the Lamborghini Aventador SVJ. Let me get myself back on screen. There we go, back on screen. Right. So we're getting 2 races. I think what I'll do is let's do the head-to-head. Let's finish off Series 1 then. We'll do the head-to-head, and then we'll do the autocross. So, Indy Circuit at Brands Hatch for the head-to-head. Now, as I said, this car's all right. To say it's a Lamborghini, it's pretty well balanced for a Lamborghini. I always feel I've got to treat the car respectfully when I'm driving a Lamborghini, just because of that back end. But it grips pretty well. It grips pretty well. As you can see, I'm over braking just to compensate for any potential Lamborghini feature. There we go. If I do that in most Lamborghinis, that would have slid just there. 1st place, nice and easy. So yeah, and it's always good to have a selection of cars to race, and then you do see what I consider probably the main feature of Real Racing 3, the fact that all the cars do drive differently. Again, that will be a factor taken into consideration when choosing the replacement. Do the cars drive differently, or do they just look different? That's a worry for me as well. 24%. I think I only get, oh no, 15 gold. That's not bad. So next up, autocross at the Grand Prix circuit, that's Circuit of the Americas. 45 seconds to beat. Let's go. See again, I didn't need to brake that early. Oh, there you go. There's that Lamborghini feature. Nothing at all to do with the driver. There we go, 42 seconds. Boom. Kings Benalla has done the maths and he said, if I were to race the Rimac Nevera, beautiful car, endlessly at the Indianapolis road course with the agent hired, I can only get up to level 684. But I don't think anyone can race for 66 days straight without taking breaks. Yeah, very good. I like it. I like it. I'll be honest, I get bored with an endless endurance after half an hour. That's my limit on any race, half an hour. Right, okay. I think I've just got me first place and therefore my gold reward. There we go, 15 gold. So we'll move from one Lamborghini to the next Lamborghini, the CIAN FKP 37. This is only at 12%, so I've got a little bit of work to do here. So we'll start at tier 1. We'll do tier 2. And then we'll just carry on. Tier 3, there's a cup there. We'll see how we get on. Speed snap. Might get to 25% here. Now, I do like this car as well. It feels quicker. It feels snappier. His turning circle is definitely wider, that's for sure. Yeah, it's a harder car to master. And what was I thinking there? For some reason I thought I was doing an autocross, but I wasn't. I was doing a speed snap. Let's do that again, because that was silly. That was silly. I see the 100% bonus, and I think it's the first race of the day, because it's been that long that we've had like 2 or 3 days worth of 100% or even 200% fame. But as I say, I don't ever remember there being a 200% fame. There we go. There we go, that's better. I don't want to be messing up quite like that regularly, because I'm only at 12%. So I've got 13% to earn if I want to get my 25% reward. So what's up next? Oh, apparently there's a cloud save in progress. Brilliant. Head-to-head at the National Circuit at Hockenheim Ring. And as always, they've got to put in these silly night races. Hold the inside line, there we go. Left in space. Okay, maybe in there. Right, I'm in first. Now, I always get the braking point on this wrong. I mean, kind of did hit the barrier there. Still in first place though. also find if I make the turns just a little bit more exaggerated with these heavier cars, I am finding I can avoid skidding just a little bit more. You know, it's a thing I'm learning right at the end. So that will come in useful over the next 65 days. That's just how it is. Monster Crow says, okay, got to go to dinner. Goodbye. Okay, thank you, Monster Crow, for watching. See you later. King's Banala reckons the 200% bonus fame will be there every weekend. Well, I think you might be right on that. And it wouldn't surprise me if they maybe even up it a bit towards the end. But I do think you are right, but we'll find out the weekend. It also wouldn't surprise me if they do 100%. Oh no, they can't because unless they do 100%, maybe Thursday will be the only day without any fame. So they'll do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday 100%, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday 200%. I'll take that. That's all right. I can. You know what? I can. If they do that, I can work with that. I can't get to 100% road collection, but my good grief, I reckon I can get up to 98%. That'd be quite exciting if I could do that. King's Banala says, oh, he sussed me out. He says, what sensitivity do you use? So I don't tend to change the sensitivity, but I do have it quite high because I don't like doing that, basically. So I'm one of these drivers that like to glide the car around the corner. So we'll have a look. It's not at 1. It's at something like, I can't remember if it's 4 or if it's 5. I had planned to see if I could start bringing that down over the coming releases, but seems that there aren't any releases, I just thought leave it as is, so no point. No point. There we are, broken another guideline there, bumped into the car. Now I'm only in 5th place, so I'm not doing very well with this, but I always find I've just survived those first 2 turns on this track, and then I usually make my gains on the second half of Red Bull Ring. There we go. Right, and then whoopsie daisy. I reckon I can get first place at this next turn. There you go. Just go alongside him, hold the inside line. I always find that works with computer opponents. At least they have the common sense normally nowadays not to bash into you. So again, I'll go down the inside. He can come alongside me, but he ain't overtaking me. As I said, those 2 corners for me are the weakest part for me around this track. Now I can normally speed away. Yes, well, I really like this car. This car is fun to drive. There we go. First place. I wasn't slowing down. I felt I was in danger the whole time from being overtaken. Right, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the sensitivity. As I said, I think it's pretty high. I could have done it during the game. I didn't. In fact, I'll do it on the next one. There we go. Because I can do it in the game. Can I do it in the game? Can't remember. Let's come out. There we go. Steering sensitivity 5. Yeah, I just prefer it so that I'm not doing this. This I mean it's an iPad Air, but I tell you what, you race them on this for a couple of hours, your wrists do hurt a little bit, allegedly. So I'm told. So somebody told me, not me. My wrists are perfectly fine. No problem here at all, Governor. Ankle Troy _45 says, what's the best car you got in your garage? Wow. Wow. Let me... wow. I mean... Right. That's my garage. 296 out of 297. So pick one. And Motorsport's not bad either. 179 out of 226. I believe the best car in the game is the McLaren MP. Is it X MPX 4X, which is like a crazy PR of 140. But in terms of the car that I enjoy racing, it's the Rimac Nevera, which has a PR I think of 101. But yeah, I mean seriously, pick a car. Pick a car. And I don't have them all fully upgraded, but on the road collection side at the very least, I own all but one. Yeah, which I'm quite happy about. Right, so we're at 18%. Let's have a think. So 20. I reckon if I do this tier, I'll be just short. Silverstone Cup might mean I'll need to service the car. I won't service the car, and then to get 25%, I'll do the time trial. So that's the plan. Will it work out like that? Who knows? Who knows? Kings Banala says, great for building muscles. What, in your wrists? Lord Night Moon says, the Volkswagen IDR my best car. Well, I do have that, and I have got that fully upgraded. I did find when we had the time trial, I struggled to get to grips with that car. I struggled to get to grips with that car. It's a bit of a strange car. It's got a lower top speed. Again, you'd think it would fit perfectly to my racing style. It's got a lower top speed and amazing grip, but I just couldn't get on with it. It defied the laws of physics. Yeah, so I ended up in Group C that week, just for a change. And Anki Troy 45 says, that's awesome. Thank you very much. It was very kind of you. It's only taken 12 years to collect that garage, and then for Real Racing 3 to say, yeah, let's turn it all off. Tony's almost completed his collection. Let's ruin it for him. It was a personal attack. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm sure it wasn't. I'm not going to beat this guy. Now I know some of you say put it on pause, but I can't do that. It's like you're asking the difference between doing this and doing this. It's the same problem. There we go. That was a better start. That was a better start. That was a better start. Is it enough? It's enough. There you go. There you go. The old man reactions worked to a treat just there. Kings Banala says, I actually had to turn my sensitivity up for that car because I can't get it to steer enough. Yes. Yeah, well, I was like that with every car. So yeah, there you go. All right, there we go. That's first place, up to speed record now at the motorcycle course at Daytona. Now this is an interesting one. I'm not going to start behind the start line. I'm going to risk it and see if I can get first just by doing a normal lap. It is one of the earliest speed records in this series, so even though you have to have your car fully upgraded, I do find the events get harder as you go along from left to right. So I'm hoping I've got enough in the tank to get first. Oh, see, look, there you go, messed it up. To be fair, it's not a biggie, because the fastest part of the track isn't this bit, but I really do need to be flying out of this. Hopefully that was okay. Okay, 200, 210, 220, come on. There you go. Whew. That were close. That were close. 233 miles per hour. First place, right at the death. All right. What are we up to? I'm tempted, you know, before doing the cup, do a sneaky speed snap and then finish on the cup. And that should mean 25%. So let's do that. Did you see though, speed snap there? Did you see how much it was ahead? Right, let's see what happens. Go. Nevertheless, that was an easy victory. 180 miles per hour. Right, onto the cup then. So we must be at 24% then. Even if I've got to 25, I'm doing the cup. There we go, 24%. That's perfect. Let's finish off tier 3. 3 laps at the Grand Prix circuit at Silverstone. Let's see if we can get our victory. So we've been racing an hour and a half. I'll tell you what, it's flown by. It's flown by. Okay, up to 10. Oh dear. We can see there what I meant by the turning circle being larger. I had no intention of hitting Rini Tricerato, but unfortunately I did. Sorry, my bad. Right. I've got no idea where I need to finish at the end of this lap. I reckon about 5th. Well, that being said, I reckon I'd be alright finishing in 7th. 2 more laps, 6 cars, plenty of overtaking opportunities around this track. And I'm doing my best not to cheat. There are some big cheats on this track in terms of going off track. I intend not to do that. There we go, so 5 cars to overtake in the remaining 2 laps, that's 1. I'm going to predict 2. Okay. This car is well suited to this track. Whoopsie-daisy, again that large turning circle, decides to get his own back on me, fully understand that, but he can remain in 4th place. But just finding the limits of the car and obviously the driver. Found those on day 1 in this game. Okay. I think we're looking good for 1st place here. See again, that turning circle. I did expect to be able to overtake that guy then, but never mind. We'll overtake him there. So we've got a whole lap to catch 1st place. Wonderful clean manoeuvre there, don't you think? No touching whatsoever. The noise that you heard was nothing to do with the 2 cars hitting each other, or maybe, to be a little bit more accurate, me hitting him. Okay, but there we go, we are in 1st place. Let's bring this home. I've absolutely loved driving this car. Barrels of fun. There we go, 1st place. Kings Banala asks, what season F1 cars do you like the most? So I like 2019 because they only cost $10, so that's always good. So I do own the full, collection of 2019, and I've got all of them fully upgraded. Also, I think you win, once you've got the series, you win the safety car. So I've got that as well. So my 2019 series completed. And I would say after that, the 2023 series, again, because of cost, they doubled the cost of the F1 cars in terms of upgrades, in terms of gold upgrades on the 2024 series. So 2019 because it's no gold and I've got it fully upgraded. 2023 because the gold isn't stupid upgrades. Hopefully that makes sense. And then says, thank you, I have to eat. So goodbye. See you later. There we go. 10 gold just for that. So does that mean that's only 100 gold in total? Yeah, well, that's disappointing. Right, so we're building our gold back up. So we've got the Lamborghini SIAN FKP 37 up to 25%. We're 1 hour 35 minutes into the racing. I've got 3 more series to do. In fairness, the Porsche and the Audi I can't get to 75% this evening. I don't think I can anyway. But the Nissan GTR R35 R3 spec rolls off the tongue. I can potentially fully upgrade, so fully complete. And to do so will earn me 40 gold. There's a lot of exclusive series where it's 100 gold in total that you earn. Oh, Aaron C. John says, just seen a Ferrari Roma here in India. First time seeing a Ferrari. Okay, there you go. Wow. Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't see many Ferraris where I live. All Porsches. All Lamborghinis. All Koenigsegg's. All Bugattis for that matter. It's, yeah, it's Fords and Vauxhalls. Hey ho. So you must live in a posh part of India then to see a Ferrari. Obviously I don't live in a posh part of England. Right, okay, so there we go. That's the speed snap done. I wasn't even paying attention then. Right, okay, so what have we got? We've got, oh dear, right, we've got a whole tier to complete. Right, back in one moment. Right, I'm back. Let's get the camera back on. Okay, so I guess we just go left to right. We'll start with the autocross at the road course at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Apparently one of the original courses in the game. Okay, I think I got first there. I think I got first. There we go. 29.126. That is pretty close though. That's got to be, yeah, there we go. 29.364 was beaten. So only a couple of attempts quicker. But hey, it still counts. Right, what are we doing next? What are we doing next? Let's oh dear. So it's a head-to-head, okay, around Le Mans. Do you know what I'm going to do on the Cup? I'm going to hire the agent. I feel Double Bubble might bring a fame level upgrade, possibly. Then again, I might just miss out. Right, let's just protect those inside lines. Right, room first. My recent history in head-to-heads has not been brilliant. I've lost a couple of head-to-heads recently, so I don't want to be losing this one. But look at that, I'm 70 yards ahead of second. Still got 2 and a bit minutes to go before the end of this lap. Where do I brake? Let's think. Let's do it about there. No, too early. Too early. Okay. brake a bit later this time. I'm going to go there. Yeah, and this time I'm too late. Nevertheless, I am well in the lead. 170 yards ahead of second. Right now. Yeah. The brakes on this car, it's a bit weird because this car, grip wise, isn't brilliant. And I feel like I'm overcompensating, maybe just a little bit too much for that. Whereas the brakes are pretty good. I do remember sliding and skidding with this car quite a few times. There we go. Oh dear. Oh, just about right there. Right on the edge. Okay, we're still in the lead. 150 yards ahead of second. Let's bring this home. Now again, I'm not doing any cheating. I'll do my best not to cut corners. No promises. But if I do, it's down to my lack of racecraft and not the fact that I'm a cheat. There we go. As I said, I'm not cheating. Through the double chicane. There you go, there's the skid. That's first place. The Monster Crow says, I finished dinner, so I'm back. Okay. Welcome back. Whoa, I'll tell you what, I'm going for it. I'm gonna request an agent. I've got a free agent to hire. I'm gonna request it on the COUPE. So it's the national circuit at Dubai, which isn't one of the longest, but it is 8 laps. So we've got an agent. I'm not going to hire the engineer. I don't need to hire the engineer. It's the last race. If I get first, I get 40 gold. So I think it was 40. Let's bring this home. Now this track I always find weird. I don't think there's ever a good place to be, left or, you know, outside or inside, because they, 1 minute look, they're hugging, and then the next they're up to you. But I think I've done all right there. I'm up to, you see now I'm dropping back. Yeah. As I said, there's no perfect. Sometimes I'm able to cut across to the other side, but I wasn't there. Right, I'm up into 8. That's okay. There we go, into 7th. Just trying to stay out of the way. It's a little bit hard to do that. All right, into 5th. I'll take that. I reckon I can get 4th. There we go. So 7 laps to go. Only 3 cars to overtake. They're sort of the odds I like, and I don't really want to be playing any games. I want to just get this beaten, get this in the bag. I'll tell you what though, I've earned quite a bit of gold, and I'll tell you what, if there's another fame level coming my way as well, my strategy, as I said, was to upgrade a couple of cars. I might hold off, because if I've got enough gold to fully upgrade a car to add to the Exclusive Series, I think I'm going to do that. But I think the cheapest car is about 500 gold. I believe it's a Ferrari. Yeah, so I think that might be the option. I don't think I'm going to be spending any gold today. So hopefully come Wednesday I'll have enough gold to do a full upgrade. I mean, I say a full upgrade, I think it needs 3 upgrades applying. But you see, this is the difference. Adding a bit of fame bonus to the daily opportunity in racing, what a difference that makes. I mean, technically I could get to 100%, but I reckon I would have to do 10 hours worth of racing, and I'm not going to be doing that. I'm not going to be doing that. But I tell you what, the double fame at the weekend, that is so tempting now. You know, double fame at the weekend with 5 agents to potentially earn and make the double. I think it's triple, ends up being triple fame, which is pretty impressive. As I said, to go through, effectively, if I go for fame, I'll have gone through 3 fame levels in 4 days. That's pretty impressive. I'm not about me being impressive, I just mean the ability of being able to do that. It puts into the mix of getting, it just put into the mix of road collection going up to 100%. I'm going to have to push really hard. But it's going to be fun. I'm going to give it a go, I reckon. You know, because I've got loads of free time on my hands, apparently. Hey Tony, what are you doing tonight? I'm playing a game. Trying to get to 100%. I'm not sure that's a good use of your spare time, Tony. You might be right. You might be right. Whereas if I go, oh, I'm doing a long stream. Oh yeah, have fun. Right, we're in first place. This is where we need to be. We're flying at the moment with this car around this track. We're doing okay. Three laps to go after this. yards ahead a second. Each lap is just over a minute, so 3 minutes away and we'll have finished this 8-lap cup and hopefully earned 40 gold, which will be the last of the gold unless we don't go up a fame level, in which case I reckon I can go up a fame level with racers in the 2 remaining cars. It probably will take the stream just over 2 hours, but I feel the need to do that, so we're going to do that. There you go, there you go. Alright, 2 laps to go. .500 yards ahead of second. Do you see what I mean about this car and grip? Right, there we go. Look at that. I think we've just about caught back markers. Indeed we have. Go. Back marker overtaken. Final lap. Slightly off track there. Whoops-a-daisy. There we go. Boom. You finish your dinner, I finished the race in first place. Finished the series. Come on. There we go. And we're up a level. 633? Was it 634? Nope, 633. There we go. 70 gold. And do you know what? We're not far off. We're not far off. And we're due some more gold. We're due some more gold. This is exciting. So I'm not going to apply any further upgrades to the cars that we're working on. The reason being, if we come out of there, oh no, too far. Oh, and we've gone up to 80% in exclusive. This is like we're hitting loads of achievements tonight. Right, so we've got we've got the Daytona SP3, which looks a lovely car, but I mean, look at that, 205. I mean, what's that? 575. I'm assuming the final upgrade on the body would be our dollars and everything else upgraded. So we've got that. So we're 200 gold off getting that. And unfortunately, the series that car's in already fully completed. And I've also got the Ferrari SF90 Stradale, which also only need 3 upgrades. But look at 495 for 1 upgrade. And then I've got 2 others, but they're not loads. I think that's a bit too much. That one's a bit too much. Shame. Shame. Yeah. So decisions to be made, but not tonight. I'll hold off on that. Instead, I'll do a quick race on the Audi and a quick race on the Ferrari. We are coming up to the 2-hour mark, so I don't want to be doing loads. So let's do it. Just have a look at what we've got. Just do some quick races. Just to tip it to the... Okay, let's see if we can improve on the speed record at Monza. It is the junior course. Right, I'm gonna be a bit sneaky on this one, because I reckon the fastest part of the track is probably at the end of that straight. So let's do what I didn't do the previous time that I had to go at this, and start back here. So I'm just going to do one quick race for each of the remaining cars, because we've already hit the 2-hour mark and kind of figured that might happen. But on Wednesday's stream, there's a real possibility of getting some more gold in 2 series, hitting 75%. Come on, go, 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 yes, oh dear. Oh. There we go, first place, smashed up car. Right, shall we have a look inside and see if we've broken the windscreen? Amazingly, we've not broken the windscreen. Don't know how. So this car will be back on Wednesday as well. In fact, all the remaining 7 Exclusive Series will be back on Wednesday, and I'll show the 2 other cars I've been upgrading in the background that will also be back, just to mix it up in terms of doing some other racing. But having now got this as high as this, I'm kind of regretting upgrading those cars, but hey, that's how it happens. That's how it happens. There we go. So that car done with for today's stream. I try to, if I'm running a little bit behind schedule, I always try to do at least 1 race with the car. I've actually not got on with that car, by the way, the Audi R18 E-TRON Quattro. I find it a bit of a strange car to drive. It's not as good as the Porsche. Is it the 919 hybrid? But yeah, there we go. So I've done that one. I've missed off the Porsche 962C. So again, I've got to do a quick race. What shall I do? Shall I finish off? I might be rubbish here. Let's finish off with Laguna Seca. Let's see how we get on. This might be a mistake. 3 laps is tough. In terms of overtaking 21 cars. Now, I did say I wasn't going to go off track. Technically speaking, I'm not going off track, but I am going off onto a different track. No, I'm not really. What I was going to do, but see, I knew I'd spin that then. Now, ideally, I'd like to be in 14th position by this corner, and that hasn't happened. So I always think if I'm not in 14th position, I can't get first by the end of the 3rd lap. Okay, so this, right, I'm going to break all the rules now. It's the last race, we can have a bit of fun. So I'm flying off the corner. Whoa. All the rules have been broken. Got to fly. Fly! Okay, so 6th place. 5 cars have overtaken 2 laps. I think that is a big ask. I think you need to be in 4th place. I think you need to be in 4th place for the 2 laps remaining. Okay. Man, I'm crazy in this race. Right, I'm doing it again. I'm going off track again, just to warn you all. With this one I am, because it's a bit crazy. Here we go. Whoa, look at that. In 1st place. Now, to be fair, I probably wouldn't have got to 1st place if it wasn't for the fact I'm going off track and using shortcuts. But there you go, I did it in 2 laps, can't believe that. But in fairness, I was cheating, I'll be honest. Hand up, oh, I'm sorry. But hey, it just makes it exciting on the last race. 21 cars overtaking 3 laps around Laguna Seca is virtually impossible if you're racing properly. It isn't quite impossible, but it's close to being. As you can see, I've made it a lot easier just by basically having no rules. There we go. 1st place. Bit of an achievement, that. And that represents the final race of this stream. That's a good way to end it. With a little bit of cheeky racing there. Lots of fun. 100% bonus. Well, I'll tell you what, we've achieved quite a lot tonight. We've gone up a fame level. We've completed 3 exclusive series. We've gone up to 80% in exclusive series. We've got an outside chance. I reckon, realistically, I've got an outside chance, if they continue with the fame, of going up to 98% completion in road collection. I think I've got an outside chance of getting to 98%. I don't think I've got any chance of getting to 100%, but it's going to be fun just seeing how far we can push it. I think realistically, I sort of suggested 95% was realistically what I could achieve in road collection by effectively March the 18th. Outside chance of getting to 98%. Anthony W says, bravo, sir. That was a crazy race. That was a lot of fun. Right. So to finish off, 2 cars that I will be racing on Wednesday's stream. And they are lower PR cars, but I thought they'd be fun. So season 4 is only at 98%. And it's only at 98% because we've got Decades of Focus, which is at 90%, and Battle of the Evos at 92%. And these are low PRs, so therefore to upgrade them doesn't cost a great deal. Both the Ford Focus ST, sorry, it wasn't the GT, it was the ST, and the Mitsubishi Motors Lancer Evolution X, both of those cars were won. And they were won as the grand prize in that particular round. So it means the cars haven't been upgraded. So the Ford Focus ST, before I started upgrading it, it only had 7 upgrades. So I've applied 4 upgrades. So it currently sits at 17.6, which means I can do the race in Tier 16, which will be on Wednesday. And then the Battle of the Evos. Again, this car only had 7 upgrades applied. This is a cheaper car, so I've applied quite a few here. So I've almost done it to 3 across the board. 2 more to go. Not going to be touching it today, but it's at 18.4. Oh no. Minimum PR is 18.4, the car's at 19.3. So again, that car I can race in the Cup. So we've got both of those 2 series on the go. I will be applying further upgrades, but I'm kind of thinking there's a serious opportunity of getting to at least 575. And I'll have a look off screen, but 1 car I will be fully upgrading and adding it into the exclusive series. And in terms of exclusive series, I tell you, it's a little bit exciting, you know, because we've only got 20, I think it's 28 cars in this mix here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be doing them all because, as I said, once I've upgraded 3 or 4 of them, every other car is at least 1,000 gold. So, you know, you work that out over the remaining 24 gold. That's a lot of gold. That's 20. Just if it's 1,000, that's 24,000 gold. That's not going to happen. But hey, there we go. Right, that's it. That's the end of racing for today. It's been a fun stream. Real Racing 3 in terms of the additional things they've done over the past week. A little bit of love back there, I think. At least to the people that enjoy racing the game. It is going. But I think what we'll be asking on Wednesday, the question will be, do you think Real Racing 3 will go out with a bang or a whimper? That will be the question on Wednesday's stream. Right, game off screen, mute the audio. If you did enjoy tonight's racing. If you did enjoy the video, then please give the video a thumbs up or a like. And if you haven't already, and you would like to see more of this type of content, then please look to subscribe to the channel The Fifth Guardian on YouTube, or follow the channel The Fifth Guardian on Rumble. And if you know someone who might like this, let them know, get them to watch the video. I'm sure they won't regret it. Monster Crow says goodbye. Goodbye to you, sir. So whatever is left of your day, I hope it's a good one. No stream tomorrow, but I will be back on Wednesday. So I hope to see you all on Wednesday. Smiley faces, lots of chatting in the chat, and trying to answer the question, is it a bang or a whimper? So until then, thank you and goodbye.